The stars were quiet that night, but something strange was coming. On the edge of the solar system in a lonely space station called Deep Watch 1, a young man named Aaron was sitting in front of a blinking screen. He was bored, yawning, and thinking about his dinner. Then suddenly the screen flashed red. A signal was coming in, not from Mars, not from the moon, not from any human ship. It was coming from far beyond Pluto. Aaron sat up straight, his heart racing. He pressed the record button. The message was short. It repeated 3 times. "You have been seen." He stared at the screen, confused. Who sent this, he thought. He ran the message through the translation software. It didn't help. He sent it to Mission Command on Earth. Within minutes, alarms rang across Earth's defense network. Top scientists, military officers, and world leaders gathered in secret. Meetings. The message had no source, no known language pattern, and no return signal. But somehow the words were in perfect English. It was like someone had been watching Earth for a long time. At first, people thought it was a prank. Some said it was a lost signal from another human satellite. But Deep Watch 1 checked again. There was nothing human about it. The signal was old, at least 3,000 years old, but it had only just arrived. Meanwhile, in orbit around Saturn, the moon base Titan shield picked up something even stranger. One of their telescopes noticed stars disappearing. Not slowly, like dying stars, but instantly, like something huge was passing in front of them. A shadow with no light, no heat, no sound. Captain Maria of Titan Shield ordered a scout drone to investigate. The drone flew silently through space, moving towards the dark area near Saturn's rings. It sent back images every minute. Empty space, then black. The last photo showed something massive, a ship so big it covered the stars behind it. It looked like a floating mountain of metal and bones. And then the drone was gone. No explosion, no signal, just gone. Captain Maria stared at the image. She zoomed in and saw strange marks on the surface of the black ship, symbols carved deep into the metal. They looked like claws, like pain, like war. The news reached Earth within the hour. People started to panic. Some said it was the end of the world. Others prepared for war. The United Earth Council called an emergency meeting. All nations agreed to a single rule. No one goes near the black ship. But Earth's best minds wanted answers. Who are they? Why now? And what does "you have been seen" mean? Over the next few days, the signal played again, this time with more data. A star map appeared on the screens. It showed Earth's place in the galaxy, but not alone. Red circles marked many other stars. All of them crossed out, destroyed. The map zoomed in slowly and then it stopped. Right on Earth, a red circle formed around it. The meaning was clear. Earth was next. Some leaders wanted to talk, to send a peaceful message. But others believed peace was not possible. A secret project was born. Project Survival hidden. Deep inside the asteroid belt, scientists and soldiers began building something new. A warship unlike any ever made before. Big, fast, and silent. But while Earth was building, the enemy was watching. Satellites began to vanish. Communication between space stations started to fail. And one night Mars Colony Alpha went dark. A supply ship arrived 2 days later and found only silence. No bodies, no blood, just empty halls and broken machines. On a wall, written in some black fluid, were 3 words: "We are here." That same night, Earth received another message. This time, the voice was clear. Deep and cold, it said, "Bow or burn." There was no misunderstanding now. This was not a message of peace, this was a warning, and Earth had to choose. Aaron, the man who first heard the signal, sat again at his station. He looked at the stars. He wondered if they were still watching. He whispered to himself, "We are not ready." But ready or not, they were coming. The black ship near Saturn moved, slowly, silently, toward Earth. And the war for humanity's survival had begun. The black ship near Saturn didn't speak. It didn't move fast, it just waited. Like a wolf outside a village, watching, waiting for fear to grow. People on Earth hoped it would go away. Some said it was broken, maybe sleeping, but Captain Maria on the moon knew better. "This is not a machine," she told her team. "It's a predator." 2 weeks after the first message, Earth sent a scout ship. It was small, fast, and quiet. It carried no weapons, only cameras and sensors. It was called Whisper 9. The mission was simple. Go close, take pictures, come back. The pilot, Lieutenant Ray Tanaka, was calm but nervous. He checked his systems and whispered goodbye to his daughter over a secret channel. Then Whisper 9 left the moon and entered the darkness near Saturn. The ship reached the shadow in 12 hours. The pilot turned on the cameras. The first pictures showed nothing but black. Then something changed. Ray saw stars disappear one by one. Something massive was in front of him, too big to understand. He turned on a light beam. The beam touched the side of the black ship. It wasn't just metal, it was covered in strange shapes, spikes, plates, and something worse. There were bones, human bones, alien bones, stuck into the ship's hull like trophies. Ray gasped. He sent the images to Earth. Then his screen turned white. He felt cold, like something was reaching into his brain. A voice spoke, not through his ears, but inside his head. "You are small," it said. "You build with fear." "We are the end," Ray screamed. He reached for the eject button, but it was too late. Whisper 9 vanished. Earth lost all contact. Back on the moon, Captain Maria watched the last image. It showed something that looked like an eye opening on the ship's surface. Round, red, and alive. Earth fell into silence. People stopped laughing, stopped working, stopped sleeping. Even the children felt something was wrong. The news called it the Eye of the Empire. Some said it was just a drone, others believed it was a god. The truth was worse. It was a hunter. 2 days later, the black ship moved. It began a slow journey toward Earth. No lights, no engines, just drifting like a ghost with purpose. Earth's leaders met again. Some wanted to send more messages. Some wanted to launch nukes. But one man, General Hart, said, "Only one thing, we hit it first, but Earth's weapons were weak, missiles would never reach it." So they tried something else. A deep space probe hidden inside an asteroid was armed with an EMP. It moved slowly toward the black ship. Its job was to blind the enemy. The probe launched its pulse. The light flashed. Then everything went dark. Earth satellites, moon, systems, even Titan shield. The blackout lasted 27 minutes. When systems came back, they saw the probe floating, broken, and the black ship had not moved an inch. Then came the voice, not through radio, but through every speaker, screen, and device on Earth. "You try to sting the fire," it said. "You choose pain." A new signal followed. An image. It showed a human city. New. London. Then it showed the same city burning. The warning was clear. Bow or burn. Project Survival was no longer a secret. Earth began building warships faster, using every spaceport and hidden base. They needed something big, strong, something that could make the black ship feel fear. They started building the Titan, but while humans built, the Empire watched. They weren't alone. More black ships appeared, small ones, scouts, flying near Mars and Jupiter. Some entered Earth's orbit, not to attack, but to learn. One night, a farmer in Alaska looked up and saw a strange shape in the sky, long, silent, and shining with red lights. He called the police, but they never came. The next day, a strange mark was found in his field. A perfect circle burned into the ground, and the farmer was gone. The fear grew. Still, the work continued. The Titan skeleton rose from the asteroid belt, a machine of war made by every nation of Earth. Captain Rhea, leader of the Titan crew, looked at the growing ship. "It's not enough," she said. "They're not just coming for Earth, they're coming for everything." On the dark side of the moon, something new appeared. A message written in a strange language, glowing softly. No one knew who wrote it. But after translation, the words were simple. "Your world will end as others did. You are not the first. You are not special." Earth now had no choice. The black ship had spoken, the Empire was coming, and it would not stop. Not until humanity was dust or something more. The time for peace was over. The time for war had begun. The Earth was shaking, not from bombs or earthquakes, But from fear, the black ships were not hiding anymore. They were watching from orbit, floating above cities like dark clouds. People called them the Eyes of Death. Every hour, more of them arrived. One above New York, one above Cairo, another above Shanghai. They didn't speak again. They didn't fire. They just waited. In space, the first pieces of Earth's hope were being welded together. It was called Project Survival, and at the center of it was Titan, a warship bigger than any ship ever built. By humans, Titan was being built inside an asteroid called Hammer Rock. It was hidden, deep in the belt between Mars and Jupiter. The ship wasn't just large, it was a monster, covered in thick armor, long-range guns, stealth panels, and a strange new weapon still being tested. No one knew if it would work, but Earth had no choice. Captain Rhea stood inside Titan's unfinished command deck. She watched sparks fly as engineers worked nonstop. Her face was tired but strong. "We're not building a ship," she said. "We're building a warning." The world had united like never before. Old enemies were now friends. Russia shared weapons tech. China provided plasma reactors. America offered AI battle programs. India and Africa built defense satellites, while Europe managed the ship's navigation system. Still, it felt like building a sword with shaking hands. Because the enemy was not waiting, strange things were happening across the solar system. A mining station on Ganymede stopped sending messages. A transport ship near Neptune sent a distress call. It saw something move, and then it vanished. There were no survivors, only silence. The enemy was testing Earth, learning its weakness, its fear, its hesitation, and they were patient. Then, a group of engineers in Iceland found a signal hidden in the alien messages. It wasn't meant for humans. It was a command, a network between the ships, a kind of alien Wi-Fi. Dr. Ilara, a young scientist with a sharp mind, cracked part of the code. She sent a simple pulse back into space, copying the alien style. Within 2 minutes, one of the black ships above Earth turned slightly. It was listening. Everyone froze. What would it do? Would it attack? Instead, it sent back a file. It had no words, just images. The images showed planets, all burned and broken, one after another, all with red circles drawn around them. The last image was Earth with a countdown below it. 3 days, that's all the time Earth had left. Panic broke out again. Some said run, hide underground, surrender. Others screamed to launch missiles and fight now, but Captain Rhea said no. "We don't fight scared," she said. "We fight smart." That night, she made a call to a group no one wanted to speak about. They were called the Ghost Unit. 6 people trained to go where no one else could. Spies, hackers, ex-soldiers, and one alien defector who once worked for the Empire. Their mission was simple: get inside the black ship, find out what they are, how they work, and how to kill. Them they launched in a tiny stealth ship called Silent Blade. No lights, no noise, no trail. They flew close to the ship above Earth, pretending to be space junk, and then using a magnetic hook they latched on. The Ghost Unit entered through a small vent. Inside, it was not what they expected. It was cold, alive, and filled with strange mist. The walls were soft in some places, hard in others, like the ship was part metal, part creature. They moved slowly, scanning, taking pictures. Strange symbols glowed on the walls, and the deeper they went, the more they heard whispers. Not voices, but thoughts. "It sees you," one of the team whispered, sweating. The alien defector nodded. "This ship is not just alive," he said. "It's listening." Then they found it, a room full of skulls floating in liquid, each skull connected to wires, blinking softly. One of them was human. The team uploaded all data and turned back. But the ship knew. Lights flashed red and the walls began to close. They ran, dodging strange flying drones with blades for wings. One of the team members, Cass, stayed behind to block the door. She smiled and said, "Tell Earth we can win." Before detonating her last grenade, the rest escaped. Barely. Silent Blade returned to Titan with the first real information about the enemy. Captain Rhea looked at the data. She saw the truth. These ships were not machines. They were part of the Empire's army, yes, but they were built from stolen life. Dead minds turned into weapons. Humanity now knew what it was facing. Not just machines, not just aliens, but a living, thinking army of death. And now Earth had only 2 days left. 2 days to finish Titan, 2 days to fight, or 2 days to fall. The stars were darker behind. Enemy lines. Even the light seemed afraid far beyond Earth, past the asteroid belt and into the black space near Saturn. The silent blade moved through shadows. It carried what remained of the Ghost Unit. 4 soldiers, 1 spy, and a mission that no one believed could work. They had returned once before, broken but alive. Now they were going back, not to spy, but to steal. Inside the alien mothership there was something Earth needed. A map, a brain, a weakness. Captain Rhea watched them from Titan's command screen. She didn't speak. She just nodded. She knew this mission was suicide, Lieutenant. Ava, the team leader, checked her weapons. Not bullets this time. Pulse blades and EMP bombs, no noise, no light, just death. We're not heroes, she said. We're thieves in hell. The ship passed into the alien mothership's shadow. Again, they hooked silently onto the surface. This time they entered through a different path. Last time they saw trophies and horror. This time they wanted the heart. The walls inside the ship pulsed slowly, like breathing. Warm mist slid across their boots. The deeper they went, the more they felt watched. But there were no cameras, no guards, only silence. Then they reached a room that was colder than space. It was round, with walls of glass. Inside were tanks, full of floating brains glowing. Alive, connected by wires, each one had a symbol burned onto it. Some human, some alien, some unknown. This is it, whispered Ava. The command hub. Dr. Zine, the alien defector, stepped forward. He placed a small device on the glass. It blinked green, then red, then blue. The signal was copying everything inside. Suddenly, one of the brains twitched. A voice echoed in the room, not through speakers, but inside their minds. You walk. In the house of gods, it said. You are the noise between stars. The team froze. Then one of the glass tanks cracked. A creature began to form inside, like smoke turning into flesh. It opened its mouth, but there were no lips, just teeth and sound. Run! Shouted Ava. They grabbed the device and sprinted. The ship responded instantly. Walls shifted, floors broke apart, drones awoke. Silent Blade's signal was jammed. Dr. Zane was hit first, pulled backward by a shadow with claws. He didn't scream. He simply said, "Burn it all," and triggered a flash bomb. The others kept moving. They reached the exit, but something was waiting. A figure, tall and thin, covered in metal and bone, stood in their path. Its eyes glowed red. Its voice was cold. You are flesh pretending to be flame, it said. You forget what fire really is. Ava stepped forward and pulled out her last weapon, a hand-sized bomb called a Star Breaker. It's time. You learned, she said. She tossed the bomb and the hallway behind them exploded. The alien screamed. The team jumped into Silent Blade just before the shockwave hit. The ship shook, but the pilot activated emergency thrust. They escaped. Barely. On board. Ava checked the device. It was cracked, sparking but still working. The data was safe. Titan received the signal. Captain Rhea watched as the files opened. It wasn't just a map. It was the Empire's history. Thousands of years. Hundreds of planets, all destroyed the same way. One by one, each civilization was given a choice. Bow or burn. Most bowed. Those who fought were erased. But one line in the data stood out. A message from a world long gone. It said, "They are not gods, they are parasites, they steal minds, they steal bodies, they are afraid of unity. They are afraid of something new." Rhea leaned forward. "What do they fear?" she asked. Then the last image loaded. It showed an ancient weapon glowing bright. Human scientists recognized the core structure. It was energy mirror technology, something Earth had only just begun to test. A system that could reflect energy back to the attacker, multiplied. Earth had a chance, not a big one, but a real one. Titan's construction accelerated. Engineers worked in shifts. No sleep. No delay. The Empire knew the Ghost unit had been inside. Now it was angry. More black ships arrived. 10, then 20. They began circling Earth like vultures around a dying beast. But Earth was not dying, it was changing. New warships were launched. Ghost Arrow, small and fast, built for silent kills. Leviathan, massive and loud, made to break lines. Soulblade, powered by the first working energy mirror engine. Humanity had stopped waiting. Now it was building an army, not to defend, but to fight. From behind the glass of Titan's bridge, Captain Rhea watched the stars. Somewhere out there, death was coming. But she smiled anyway. Let them come. She was ready to burn them back. And Earth was done being afraid. Space was silent. But silence could lie. Inside that silence, Earth was ready to scream. Captain Rhea stood on the bridge of Titan. Fully operational at last, it was no longer a dream. It was a warship made of Earth's final hope. She looked at the screen, which showed 20 enemy ships circling Earth like sharks. She didn't flinch. Let's give them something to fear, she said. Project Survival had reached its final stage. No more building, no more waiting, it was time to fight. Titan moved, out of the asteroid field like a beast waking from sleep. Behind it came the rest of Earth's first real fleet. Ghost Arrow, Leviathan, Soulblade, and 7 smaller ships called the Ash Line. They didn't fly toward Earth, they flew toward Wine, the enemy. The target was a black ship hiding near Jupiter. It was one of the smaller ones, scouting and transmitting data back to the Empire. If Earth could destroy it, the other ships might lose their network. On board the Ghost Arrow, Commander Malik breathed slowly. His ship was the fastest, made for hit-and-run attacks. He had one. Hub strike first, hit hard, disappear. Engines full, he said. Let's go knock on the devil's door. Ghost Arrow zipped through space like a silver blade. The black ship turned slowly, noticing too late. 2 torpedoes hit its rear engine. No explosion. Then 5 seconds later, boom, the Empire ship twisted, wounded but not dead. That was Titan's turn. Captain Rhea gave the order. All weapons, fire. Titan's cannons roared through vacuum. Massive plasma rounds slammed into the enemy's hull. The alien ship began to glow red, shields breaking under the pressure. From the bridge of Leviathan, General Way smiled. It's bleeding, he said. Bleed more. Leviathan launched gravity mines, strange new weapons built by Earth's best minds. The mines pulled at the alien ship like claws, tearing pieces away. The Empire ship finally responded. It fired a dark beam, wide and hot. Ghost Arrow barely dodged, losing one of its wings, but the human fleet kept pushing. For the first time, the enemy wasn't hunting, it was being hunted. Inside the Empire ship, systems failed. The link between it and the others broke, before it could send a final warning. Soulblade fired the energy mirror weapon. A pulse of bright light bounced off the weapon's core, then shot forward. It cut through the enemy ship like lightning. The black ship cracked open and died. Back on Earth, every screen lit up with the same message. Enemy signal lost. People cheered, cried, and laughed. For the first time since the darkness came, hope returned. The fleet didn't stop. Rhea ordered the next move. Take out the communication relay near Mars. It was a tall, thin structure built by the Empire, hidden under Martian ice. The Ash Line moved in, flying low over the red surface. They dropped drills and bombs, breaking. The ice alien defenses rose from the ground, drones and turrets powered by stolen energy. But humans had learned. The pilots of the Ash Line moved like fire through wind. 1 ship crashed, 2 were damaged, but the relay was destroyed. A final boom echoed across the stars as the tower fell. Earth was no longer blind, and now the enemy was deaf. Captain Rhea sent a message. It played on all human channels. This is not a warning, this is not a dream. This is a message to the Empire. We do not bow, we do not burn, we fight. And somewhere out in deep space the Empire heard. Their command ship turned, and for the first time it moved quickly. The Black Fleet was coming. On board Titan, the crew celebrated for one night. Music played softly. People smiled, hugged, remembered what it felt like to win. But Rhea didn't celebrate. She stood alone, staring out the glass wall of the bridge. She knew what was coming, that win had cost lives, and the next battle would cost more. Commander Malik joined her. "Think they'll come faster now?" he asked. She nodded. "They'll come with everything." And they would. The real fleet, the motherships, the brain ships, the burning ones. They were coming, not just to punish, but to erase. Still, Rhea smiled. Let them come. Earth had drawn first blood, and humanity was not running anymore. War had truly begun, and Earth had its teeth in the fight. The stars shook, not from sound, but from the force of something terrible arriving. The real fleet of the Empire had finally come. Not scouts, not watchers, but warships, 50 black vessels, each one larger than the last, surrounded Earth like a cage of fire. They blocked the moon, the sun, and hope. The people of Earth stared at the sky and saw red lines where stars used to be. Captain Rhea stood on the bridge of Titan, eyes steady, voice calm. "We knew this day would come," she said. "Now we show them what humans do when cornered." Titan led the fleet into high orbit, joining Leviathan, Ghost Arrow, Soulblade, and the rest of Earth's warships. The silence before the battle was heavy, like space itself was holding its breath. Then the attack began. The Empire ships didn't wait. They opened fire with beams that cut through shields, twisted metal, and cracked hulls. The first to fall was Arc 7, a colony ship turned fighter. It broke apart in 3 pieces, burning as it fell into Earth's atmosphere. Rhea didn't blink. "Form the shield line," she ordered. "Leviathan, hold the left. Titan takes the center." The human ships moved, as one. They fired back with every cannon, every missile, every beam they had. The space between Earth and the Empire became a storm of fire. Ghost Arrow darted between enemy ships, landing quick hits and vanishing again. Soulblade powered up its energy mirror core. The reflected blasts burned 2 enemy ships from the inside out. But it wasn't enough. From behind the main fleet, a new shape arrived. Huge, round, glowing red from the center. The crew of Titan stared at the screen, confused. "What is that?" someone whispered. The answer came quickly. "It's not a ship," said Commander Malik. "It's a weapon." The red sphere fired a pulse, slow but wide. It wasn't a beam, it was gravity. A wave that crushed space and bent metal. Leviathan took the hit. Its hull twisted. Alarms screamed. People flew from their stations. General Wei shouted orders, trying to keep the ship alive. The engines sparked. The ship spun. And then quietly, Leviathan exploded. Everyone on Titan watched in silence. Rhea closed her eyes for 1 second, then opened them, full of fire. "Target that weapon," she said. "I want it gone." But it was protected. 4 enemy cruisers blocked its path, each armed with new weapons Earth had never seen. Earth's fleet was shrinking. The line was breaking. One by one, ships were being torn apart. That's when Rhea made the choice. "Prepare Titan for full speed. Collision," she said. The crew froze. "You can't be serious," Malik said. "That weapon will wipe out Earth." "I know," she said. "But Titan can reach it, and Titan can stop it." She turned to Malik. "You're the captain now. Get the others out." Malik shook his head. "No, not like this." Rhea placed a hand on his shoulder. "Humanity needs you more than me." The escape shuttles launched. Titan turned alone toward the red sphere, engines burning bright. Enemy ships rushed to stop it. But Titan was too fast, too angry. The weapon charged again. The red light pulsed, growing brighter. Rhea stood at the front of the ship. "Alone," she whispered. "For Earth." Titan hit the sphere head-on. There was no explosion. There was a flash. A soundless shock that tore through space and pushed all ships away. The weapon was gone. So was Titan. So was Rhea. But Earth was still, standing. The Empire paused. Their perfect machine had lost a piece. For the first time they hesitated. On board Ghost Arrow, Malik took command. He looked at the scattered fleet, then gave a single order. "Attack." Earth ships, damaged and burning, charged forward like wolves in a storm. They had lost their strongest ship, but they had not lost their will. The Empire fired again. But the mirror weapons reflected. The drones hacked the enemy systems. And from Earth's surface, new support ships launched, backup that had been waiting for this moment. The Black Fleet began to fall back, not in fear, but in confusion. They had not expected sacrifice. They had not expected rage. Humanity had given them a taste of something they didn't understand, loss, but also something more. Hope. The battle ended when the Empire's ships vanished into deep space. Not all of them, just the ones smart enough to survive. Malik looked. At the stars where Titan had fallen, he saluted. "Rest now, Captain," he said. "We're not done yet." And far across the galaxy, the Empire whispered one word in their strange tongue, a word they had never used before: resistance. The Empire had pulled back, but not in fear. They pulled back to think, to adapt, to evolve. But Earth did not rest. Not after what happened to Titan. Not after Captain Ria's sacrifice. Now, Earth was ready to go on the offensive. Inside the hidden base beneath Antarctica, Earth's top commanders met in silence. General Malik stood at the head of the table, once a pilot, now a leader forged in fire. He pointed to a star map glowing on the table. "This," he said, "is where they come from." The data stolen by the Ghost Unit showed the location of a central system, not the capital of the Empire, but something worse. A place where new warships were born, where slave mines were uploaded into black ships, where planets died quietly. They called it the Cradle. "If we take the Cradle," Malik said, "we stop the war at its heart." A mission was planned. Earth's remaining warships would launch a strike through a newly discovered wormhole near Neptune. It was unstable, but fast. One jump, and they would be inside the enemy's space. The fleet was smaller now, but stronger. Ghost Arrow, Soulblade, Ash Line, and 3 new stealth ships, Whisperfang, Nova Ember, and Obsidian Rain, each one armed with Earth's most dangerous weapons, and one secret device, hidden inside Soulblade's core, something created from the last message found in Titan's black box. It was called Project Mirrorheart. The fleet launched in silence. No victory speeches, no broadcasts, just a whisper in the comms. For Ria. They passed through the wormhole. Like knives through cloth, the journey was short but violent. Energy storms rocked the ships, systems flickered. One drone ship was lost, but they made it. When they exited the wormhole, they saw it. The Cradle, a massive system of dark planets orbiting a blood-red star. At the center floated a ring, not a station but a hollow moon. Dead on the outside, burning within, it pulsed with life. Dozens of black ships floated around it like insects guarding. A hive, and below, factories forged more, fed by the crushed remains of stolen planets. Commander Aisha, pilot of Soulblade, whispered, "This is where nightmares are born." The fleet moved in formation using asteroid cover. Whisperfang slipped past the enemy patrol, planting EMP mines. Ghost Arrow flanked the far side, cutting off retreat routes. Then Malik gave the order. "Begin the strike." Soulblade powered. Up, and for the first time the Mirrorheart weapon pulsed to life. A beam of pure light shot into the ring, reflected and twisted. It sliced through one of the Empire's command ships in seconds. The enemy woke up. Black ships turned and screamed through the void, charging at the humans like angry gods. But Earth's fleet was ready. Ashline ships dropped gravity bombs, pulling enemy cruisers into each other. Whisperfang activated a signal jammer, confusing the enemy's hive mind. Obsidian Rain pierced through the factory gates, unleashing drones to sabotage the core. The Cradle fought back. Its defense systems lit the skies red. Lasers struck Soulblade. Hulls cracked. Alarms rang. Nova Ember was hit and lost control, crashing into a defense tower. Still, the humans kept pushing. Inside the Cradle, something ancient began to stir. A voice echoed through the system, not through air, but through thought. "You walk into the furnace of creation," it said. "You are not fire, you are ash." Malik heard it in his mind, but he didn't flinch. "Then let's become the storm," he said. He activated the final command. Soulblade's Mirrorheart began charging again, but this time it was different. Instead of firing, it began pulling. pulling the energy of the cradle into itself. The red star dimmed, the factory moon cracked, the Empire ships paused, confused, their signals distorted, their minds fractured. One by one, they began turning on each other. Inside the cradle, obsidian. Rain planted the last core bomb. The pilot, Commander Voss, smiled as the countdown started. He knew he wouldn't make it out, but he didn't care. "This is for the ones you erased," he whispered. The bomb exploded and the cradle began to collapse. Soulblade opened the wormhole again. What was left of Earth's fleet flew through. Behind them, the factory moon fell into its own star, and the cradle was no more. Back on Earth, the sky remained dark, but it was no longer watching. Malik stepped off the ship, face calm. He looked at the world leaders and said, "We didn't destroy them all. But now they know. They are not unbreakable. And we are not afraid." And far away in the deeper part of the Empire's space, the true masters of the black ships watched the flames. And for the first time in 1,000 years, they felt something cold. Not anger, not hunger, but doubt. They offered death, they promised defeat. But what the Empire received instead was fire. The destruction of the cradle shook the galaxy. It sent a message louder than any war drum. Earth had not just survived. It had reached into the heart of the Empire and lit it on fire. But the war was not over. Not yet. From the far edge of the Empire's domain came something different. A ship, unlike the others, larger, older, silent. It had no weapons, it had no light. But its name was feared even among the black ships. They called it the Harbinger. It moved through space like a god returning to its throne. And it was coming for Earth. On board Ghost Arrow, General Malik watched the data with narrow eyes. "We broke their sword," he said. "Now they bring their hammer." Earth had no more tricks, no more secret weapons. The fleet was tired, broken, wounded, but they would fight anyway. The Harbinger arrived in the outer solar system. It didn't send a message. It didn't ask for surrender. It just began to pull. Saturn's rings twisted like cloth. Jupiter's moons cracked from pressure. The Harbinger didn't shoot, it bent space, it bent time, it prepared the final strike. And Earth had only one chance. In the ruins of Titan's construction zone, deep in the asteroid belt, a new ship had been quietly rising, a project born from pain, from sacrifice, from Captain Rhea's final commands. They called it the Revenant. Built from the bones of Titan and powered by the mirror heart core she left behind. It wasn't just a warship. It was a message. "You thought we were dead," the engineers whispered. "We were only becoming something more." The Revenant launched with a single goal: reach the Harbinger before it reached Earth. It carried a small crew, hand-picked from every corner of the world. Pilot, Commander Aisha. Tactician, Dr. Zeen's daughter, Layla. And at the heart of the ship, a program written by Rhea herself. An AI called Echo. The ship moved faster than any built before it through gravitational tides and magnetic storms. It reached the Harbinger as it crossed Neptune's path, and then it stopped. A voice echoed across every human channel. It came not from a mouth, but from the space between atoms. "You are dust," it said. "Clinging to fire, you have stolen what is not yours. Now return to silence." The Harbinger opened, like a flower made of bones and metal. Inside, a black sun began to form. It would not fire a beam. It would collapse the space around Earth, turn the solar system into a tomb. Aisha looked at her crew. "We have one chance," she said. "We hit the heart before it wakes up," Revenant charged, engines screaming. The Harbinger launched waves of gravity, each one nearly tearing the ship apart, but Echo kept the systems alive. "Keep moving," the AI said. "Captain Rhea didn't build me to watch." They reached the opening just as the black sun began to glow. Layla activated Mirror Heart. This time, it wasn't just a beam. It was a reflection of the Harbinger's own energy, its own death sent back into its chest. The two forces met, the screen filled with white. Time slowed, bent, twisted. The crew saw images flash, of Earth, of war, of Titan, of Rhea, and then silence. When the light faded, the Harbinger was gone, Nothing remained, not metal, not dust, only the Revenant floating quietly. Systems offline, crew unconscious but alive. Earth watched from afar. The sky cleared. The stars returned. The Empire was silent. No more black ships came. No more messages. Only emptiness. And then something unexpected happened. Signals came from far away, from deep Empire space. Not attacks, but voices, alien voices. Not speaking with power, but with fear. "We are free," one said. "The chain is broken," said another. The Empire hadn't just lost, it had fallen. Earth had done what no world ever could. It had survived the fire, and burned brighter. A year later, the United Earth Council stood before all nations. General Malik spoke, his voice steady. "We were offered death," he said. "We were promised defeat. But we gave them a story they never expected. A story of sacrifice, of fire, and of the human spirit. And now we offer this story to the stars." Revenant returned to Earth. The crew stepped out to cheers, to tears, to peace. But above them the sky remained open, because somewhere out there, more eyes were watching, some friendly, some curious, some waiting, and Earth would be ready, not as victims, not as prey, but as survivors, as warriors, as the world that said no and meant it.